Hi, my name's Arnie with PipMonkey.com. I just want to welcome you, and we're going to be talking today about the PipMonkey system itself, and there's actually three key concepts that we're going to talk about. But before we get going, let me just cover a couple of things just to reiterate and confirm. First of all, PipMonkey.com is not a broker-dealer. We'll never trade your money. We don't give you trading tips. We don't tell you what trades to make. What we are is a software support and training company that provides a software system and teaches you how to enter and exit what we call the freeway of Forex, and to do it with confidence and to be able to trade with an edge. And that's really being confident in your system that you know it's successful. And this system is highly successful at showing you what price is really doing. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, there's three key concepts. The first one is pattern recognition versus traditional technical analysis. The second one is multiple time frames. I'm excited about that one to get into that too. The third one is a unique suite of indicators. There's actually 6 indicators that we're going to talk about. Okay, not on this video, they're going to be on the next one, but I'm going to highlight them today. Okay, so let's get into the first concept. The first concept, pattern recognition versus traditional technical analysis. Well, what's traditional technical analysis? Well, that's where you take historical data, you apply complex mathematical algorithms to project or predict where you think price is going to be at some time in the future. Pattern recognition is totally the opposite. What we do is we look at what price is doing right now and what the patterns that are created, what those patterns look like. Okay? And so, as a matter of fact, I remember when I was first exposed to this, I was told by a very successful trader. Matter of fact, I asked him, I said, well, this looks completely random. How can you trade this? And he said, you're right, it is random, but there are patterns to the randomness. And that really struck me as being true. And you know, it is true. And if you spend enough time on the screen, do what we call screen time, you'll find out that these patterns will repeat over and over and over again. And you'll see them, it'll make a lot of sense to you. Okay? So let's move on to the next concept. The next concept is multiple time frames. I love this one because I love physics. I know I'm a little bit of a geek that way, but I love, if you look up momentum in the dictionary, it talks about speed, mass, velocity, vectors, which has to do with going from point A to point B. All these relate to momentum. And multiple time frames relate to momentum in the sense of this. Let me explain why. When you have, matter of fact, if you look at this screen, let me just show you real quick. If you notice here, we have 3 time frames. Okay, we have an hour chart, and each one of these candles here is an hour long. And then we have on the left hand side we have a 15-minute chart, and you'll notice here there's a 15 up here, and each one of these candles are 15 minutes long. And then in the center here we have a 2-minute chart, and this 2-minute chart, each one of these candles are 2 minutes long, right? So when you look at multiple time frames or compressions, when price is moving in the same direction in multiple time compressions, what they call, or time frames, it's like having a nitrous oxide button in your car, and you hit that thing and the car goes fast and furious, right? Just like the movie. It accelerates, and it does a momentum acceleration on price. I'm not exactly sure how all that happens, I just know it does. And we employ this. And one thing to know about multiple time frames that's really interesting is the fact that it's a time-tested, highly accepted principle. Most traders have heard of it. You've probably heard of it. A lot of you probably. But it's interesting, ironically, it's the #1 concept that most people have forgotten about and quit using. Where in fact, it should always be front and center, and that's why it's front and center on the PipMonkey suite of indicators. Okay? And then finally, we're going to talk about the concept of the suite of indicators themselves. The indicators that guide you. And they really do guide you. Matter of fact, if you look at the screen, you can see here that there are all kinds of indicators that will, one of them, for example, is this gold line. If you notice this gold line here as it comes up and down here, and here we go down here, and then over here and up here. That indicator, I'll give you the name of it right now. We're not going to explain them all right now, but that's called 007. We call it 007 because it's our secret agent. And it's the one that's going to give you the lifestyle, because this one, out of all of our indicators, 2 of the 6 indicators are real-time indicators. What do I mean? They're not lagging. They don't lag. They go with real time. They follow price right now. and so it renders right in front of you. Very important to understand. Now there are some other indicators you see here that have numbers underneath the candles. There's ones that have numbers over top of the candles. There's one that you see these red bands that are curving. There are others here that have other lines. There's red ones and then green lines with dots and all this stuff. We're going to get into all this. Just suffice to say that these 6 indicators show you 3 things, and we'll get into it more. It shows you trend direction, it shows you trend strength, and it shows you trade placement, and actually even talks about your exit. And we have the strategies that go with it, and the rules that you'll follow, which, matter of fact, follow the rules. You see that? That's the #1 thing that we're always going to talk about at PipMonkey, because trading is a discipline. It's not something that you're going to do by happenstance. You're not going to just trip over yourself and be successful at trading. This is the most volatile, riskiest market in the world. And in order to trade this, you have to be disciplined and follow rules strictly. You have to remove your emotion, let the indicators let you know what to do. Again, this concept is about a suite of indicators, kind of a control panel. It's like a dashboard in a car. It'll tell you how to drive, and it'll show you how to get on and get off the freeway of Forex. And it's a treacherous freeway, and you need to know how to drive it safely, okay, so you can do it profitably. And that's what our goal is to make sure that you understand how to do that. So I appreciate your attention. Hope that made sense. That's the PipMonkey concept, the system itself, with the suite of indicators. Thanks for